Hey, what's going on, y'all? Welcome to another episode of We Need to Talk. This is episode 431. I go by the name of Marcus K. Jr., and we're gonna break this down real quick. Tonight, we are talking about why you ignore red flags. So in dating, why do you ignore red flags? It seems as though these things should be obvious. They should be overt. The certain behaviors, certain body language, certain types of presentation when it comes to people that we date, and seemingly we tend to flow right into connections or flow right into relationships. And by the time we look up months later, years later, we realize, or we come to the realization that something is off. There's something that we don't like. There's something that we can't tolerate. And we have to then make a decision. And it seems like these things just popped up. But in reality, uh, the indications have been there all along. So there's a process by which these red flags tend to bypass our consciousness, awareness, and even decision making. So I wanted to break down just three reasons why I see, or the three main reasons that I've observed that lead to us ignoring red flags. The first one is low self worth and self esteem. Um, we tend not to protect something that we don't feel is valuable. You can tell by just certain items in your house. There's certain things that you could probably care less if they get beat up, if they get tarnished, or the lowest worth items in your home probably take the most beating, and probably get cleaned the least and things like that, because there's not a lot of value when it comes to just cheap things, right? Things we don't pay a lot for, we probably don't take care of as much. The more expensive things that we own, vehicles, etc., we probably treat those a lot better. Same goes for our sense of self-esteem and self-worth. Um, you know, we would tend not to be protective of ourselves and observant of threats and red flags if we don't feel we deserve that type of protection, or if we don't feel we deserve to have somebody who is high quality, high value. If we feel as though we are low value, we will not protect ourselves, thereby leaving ourselves open to the red flags and the threats. So we need to key in on that fact and know that as a solution, self-esteem and self-concept, all these things need to be upgraded. All of these things need to be focused on and emphasized and enhanced. So second thing is familiarity, right? If you heard me talk about this before, if we're just discussing childhood environment and things like that, a lot of the elements, a lot of the core beliefs that lead us into these types of relationships that harm us, that are toxic, are due to the fact that they are familiar environments. They are easily predictable. We can predict the outcomes. If we date somebody who has lying tendencies in the beginning, we can predict that they will continue to lie to us. And although it's a negative trait, it's something that we are familiar with and that we've seen before. If we date certain people who are emotionally distant or emotionally unavailable, because maybe one of our parents was emotionally unavailable, it was predictable after that point, as a brain response or a mind response that is overprotective. It says, well, in order to avoid any sort of shocking event again, we will steer you in the direction to be attracted to people who are similar to your old environment, right? And in essence, seeking to make it easier, but it's making it worse for you because those traits are inherently negative. So, in order to break out of that pattern, different different choosing needs to be a priority. Choosing differently needs to be a priority. And part of that process means slowing the process down so that you can observe the red flags in front of you. A lot of times, those relationships that are the worst move the fastest. If you notice, some of the relationships that you got in, some of the worst ones, were partially due to the fact that you were moving really fast and you didn't take time to observe long enough. Because if you did, you would come to the realization that there are red flags that aren't going anywhere. A lot of times we try to rationalize and trick ourselves into thinking that these things are just going to go away. Can you hear me? Let me know in the chat if you can hear me. It's good? All right, volume is good. So my apologies for that. Let me know if it goes out again. So the third thing, or the third reason why we tend to ignore red flags, the third reason is our single life is not happy enough. Our single life is not comparable to what we think our life would be like with a significant other. So due to the fact that we're dating and we have the potential, we see the potential for the lifestyle that we want, the soulmate, the connectivity, the emotional intimacy, all of those different things, the companionship, right? So that's what we're looking for. So dating as a process is geared around getting to that lifestyle. So we think that lifestyle is the ultimate in uh in happiness. We equate those two. So as a single person, a lot of us are just kind of counting the days, right? You just kind of like, well, when's this person going to show up? You might be dating, you might be active in a process, you might be talking to people, you might be trying to figure something out, but you work through the process needing to have people along the way, right? So I got to be talking to somebody, got to have somebody in the chamber, got to have somebody in the communication, because that means that you're getting somewhere. That means you're getting closer to that process. That means you're getting closer to that life that you want, right? So the problem becomes, you're putting your happiness in the hands of unknown people. You're putting your happiness in the hands of random people on dating sites, or just random people around. And when you put your happiness in somebody else's hands, you remove the power that you have to make yourself happy, to create the happiness yourself. Um, Happiness is supposed to be internally activated. It's not something that's supposed to be externally based, which is the whole reason why I do what I do as a mental health coach, happiness, wellness coach, dating relationships, all these different things, life purpose, all these things I immerse myself in, and I help uh, people to reach progress in, because of the fact that a lot of us have externalized our view of happiness. And that leads to our downfall. So we have to find different ways to make our life not only comparable, but the best it can be, no matter what our status is in a relationship, not in a relationship. Single, with somebody, talking, dating, any sort of status that we have to make that peak level. We have to focus on making that the best possible lifestyle. It doesn't mean that if we're single and happy that we're not desiring to be in a committed relationship that's healthy and has longevity. Doesn't mean that. Doesn't mean that we're forfeiting that as an option. Doesn't mean it's no longer a goal. It just means that happiness should be a continuum, should be constant, it should be always sought after on a daily basis. It shouldn't be put in the hands of just random people on dating apps with potential. They don't hold the keys, and when we think they do, that's what makes us ignore the red flags that they present. We're cutting corners, trying to get to a proposed space of happiness that likely will not exist, especially if we're operating from a standpoint of fear and anxiety and a rushed space, a rushed state of mind, moving a little bit too quickly, you know. So I wanted to drop this on y'all, just something quick on the weekend, you know. I'm here every night though. I'm here every night. So if you guys are new, definitely be sure to subscribe. Definitely be sure to share the broadcast. I will be live tomorrow night as well. Never a day off. 431 episodes strong. Thank you for all of you guys who showed up. I see Curly's in the building. What's going on? I see Javico, Gio. Hopefully I said that right. Erica, what's going on? Good to see you guys. Much appreciated. Sending you guys powerful energy, positive energy as well. Comforting energy to anybody who may be going through things right now. Be sure to click the link in my bio if you're looking for coaching and you want to book a session. Tap in with me. You guys have a great night.